Today is January 31st, last day of January, which is fantastic. Let's get February started and get through that one, and hopefully spring is right around the corner. Today we got a special guest with Camp Tecumseh. It's the Director of Development, Dan Usman, to talk to us about what's going on at Camp Tecumseh. So take it away, Dan.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for having me. I'm really here just to say thank you. Excuse me. Camp Tecumseh provides year-round programming for kids and their families who have been impacted by childhood cancer. We serve kids from all over Vermont and from northern New York, all of who have received treatment at UVM Medical Center. For our families, they're going through the unthinkable or have gone through the unthinkable and need a place of joy and connection and community. And that's where camp comes in. We offer programming in the summertime, but also throughout the year as well for in the entire family. We understand that cancer is not solely about the child who has cancer. It impacts the entire family unit. So we have programming for our moms, our dads, our siblings of our campers, as well as, of course, programming for our campers themselves. We have our summer week, and then we have winter weekend programs, which are going on right now, as a matter of fact. We have one coming up next weekend, which is super fun. Those are great because we have an ice rink at camp. They play broom ball. We go outside and we sled and we cross country ski. We have 103 acres up in South Hero, Vermont, where the kids can really have a great time. And we do a ton of stuff up there. But really, the camp experience is about providing joy, happiness, smiles, having folks at camp so they can, for at least a brief moment in time, forget about cancer and forget about the appointments that they have to go to and those types of things. Um, we truly couldn't have camp without the generosity of people like you guys. When I met with you in December, I was really amazed by the generosity of the entire employee group. The fundraising you guys did and your generosity, that's what makes camp happen. We're very fortunate to have a very generous community, and without you guys, without our community, camp just wouldn't be possible. And so we're very, very grateful. That money will specifically go towards our programming. All of our campers and their families attend our programming at no cost to the families. We offer this everything for free. That way they don't have to think about the financial impact of coming to camp while they're also thinking about medical bills and insurance and those types of things. It's one more way that we can sort of alleviate the burden of cancer from our families. So your donation, your $7,700, is that what it was?
Yeah.
That's incredible. And really, that makes a huge difference. We say roughly costs about $2,500 to send a kid to camp. So what's that? How many campers is that? Early morning math. That's two, three campers to camp.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's incredible. And that makes a huge difference. Our campers are experiencing cancer in all sorts of different ways. Some are very young. We have actually play group campers that come for just an afternoon on Saturdays that are between the ages of 0 and 6. We have kids who come who are between the ages of 7 and 18. And then actually what's really amazing is that we also have campers who have come and had the camp experience, have made such an impact on their lives, they want to come back and then make that same impact on someone else's life. So they come back and volunteer. And about 10% of our volunteers are actually former campers who have gone through the experience and want to come and give back to camp and to the campers. So it's really an amazing place. It's really a place of joy and happiness. A silliness. We do all sorts of silly stuff. I'll just share as an example. We have I don't know where they came from, but we have these giant stuffed animal safari animals. We have a lion and a giraffe specifically. And in our office right now, they pop up in different random locations. So it's part of the pranks and fun that we have at camp, during camp when kids are there, and then also just during the off times as well. It's a great time. I would encourage anyone, if they have the chance, to come up and visit. It'd be fun to do a walk around with you all and just show you what camp looks like and sort of get a feeling of what the experience is. And then certainly during the summer week, we do sort of more tours when there's camp stuff happening. Would love to have you up then as well. So truly, thank you so much for all that you do. What an amazing donation. We're so thrilled to work with you guys again. We've had in years past, and can't say thanks enough. Your donation makes a real impact. So thank you.
Thanks for all your energy, and it looks like you enjoy it as well.
Oh yeah, man, it's a good time. We have a lot of fun.
40 plus years, I think, right now for Camp Tecumseh. They started in Colchester, I remember. And
Yeah.
at one time, that at some point, you guys moved up to South Hero.
Yeah, that's right. We were at Camp Holy Cross for many years.
Yep.
We started in 1984, so this is year 41 for us. Oh gosh, in 2010 we moved to South Hero, something like that. We bought this beautiful property up in South Hero that really only had one building on it when we arrived, and now there are close to 23 buildings at camp. And growing. We're actually in the process of building another one. Always growing, always trying to find fun new ways to engage and be with the kids, and always looking for that next thing. So we appreciate all your help in getting us to that next level, and always helping to put smiles on the faces of our kiddos.
Well, thanks for being with us today, Dan.
Thanks for having
me. If you ever need anything that you think we might be able to do, give us a call. Let us know. We've been known to help out throughout the year. I remember last year we did a few things for Make-A-Wish because we had some special tools, and also any of you people out there, we're always working, but we're welcome, I think, to come up and try to figure out if we could volunteer once in a while up there. So
absolutely, we do community volunteer days where we have groups come in of any size to help with anything from painting, gardening, mowing. The mowing is a constant process. There's just so much grass in 103 acres. So anytime, we'd love to have you up. Just give a shout. Let me know.
Well, great. Well, thanks again, Dan. And
thanks guys.
And thanks everybody for the donation. It's awesome. Have a great day.
Thanks. You as well. Have a great meeting. We'll see you guys later.
See you later, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
Bye.
All right, Tom, you want to take it away?
All right. Be forewarned, I think I came down with whatever's going around the office. So if I lose my voice, Matt, if you don't mind taking over.
Yep. I got you. All
right. So this week's code item of the week is respect the property of others. Mr. Dow.
Well, remember, property is personal. Try to treat the property of others as if it were the way you want your property to be treated.
Thank you. All right. These numbers are finally getting up there a bit. 120 days without a recordable injury, 38 days without a first aid injury, and 43 days without a vehicle incident. So great job out there. Today we're going to talk about early signs of a cardiac emergency. Cardiac's anything to do with your heart. So first we'll kind of get into some definitions. Cardiac arrest versus a heart attack. So cardiac arrest is when the heart no longer pumps effectively, and it can have many different causes. Heart attack is what's called myocardial infarction, or you have a blockage inside the blood vessels of the heart. If that goes untreated, then you can very well end up in cardiac arrest. But the list of causes for cardiac arrest are a lot longer than just that. So you have like I said, a heart attack or a myocardial infarction. You have trauma, you have toxins or poisoning, you have lack of oxygen, and this is common in children and premenopausal women. You have metabolic imbalances. So think about if you go to your doctor and they say your labs are all out of whack, that's what this is getting at. Severe allergic reactions, sepsis, which is when you kind of have a blood infection / autoimmune situation going on. You have hypo or hyperthermia, so you're too hot or too cold, and there's many, many more out there. So I think these pictures are kind of the best way to show what a heart attack actually is. So you see that there's an A and a B, and on the A side, how the dye isn't really getting through all those blood vessels in the heart. So what they did is they put in what's called a stent. So they opened up the blood vessels, and now all the blood can get to where it's going. So where the blood's all blocked up and not going where it needs to go, that's what a heart attack is. what can happen too is the blood can start to make, imagine if you're sitting on the highway in traffic and people start going around on the shoulder, that can tend to happen. And it's called collateral circulation. And what happens is over time, people create that and they start to get ruts in the road on the side of the road. So blood's still making it to where it needs to go. But then when they exert themselves and suddenly they're having a severe cardiac event. So you kind of have textbook signs of a heart attack, and those are severe chest pain that radiates down the arm, the difficulty breathing, and the jaw pain. I can count on one hand how many STEMIs heart attacks that I've ever seen that actually presented with all of these textbook symptoms. Usually it's a lot more vague, and it ends up being like, just feeling off, different things like that. We'll get into a longer list. But typically with women, diabetics, elderly, the symptoms just never appear. Those tend to be groups that get a lot of heart attacks. So the common symptoms are chest pressure, difficulty catching your breath, an anxiety or an impending sense of doom, shoulder blade or arm pain tightness. So like, when a lot of people describe it like, oh man, my shoulder blade, there's just something back there. There's just something back there. And that can be the only chest pain that you really get, or chest pain, even though it's in your back. Neck pain or tightness, abdominal pain, dizziness or lightheadedness, nausea with or without vomiting, indigestion or heartburn, general malaise, so you're just not feeling right, changes in skin tone, clamminess, fatigue, or palpitations, so when your heart's just beating. So I think we can all look at this list and say that we've had every single one of these symptoms at one point in our lives. So it can be non-specific, but what happens is people don't get seen when they start to get a collection of these symptoms, and then they end up in cardiac arrest because they didn't get their heart attack treated. And it's not an easy fix, but it's a fairly uninvasive fix to fix a heart attack early on. So other heart conditions. So your heart pumps due to small electrical pulses that run through the cardiac muscle, and then they go through different kinds of tissue, and it causes the heart to contract in a certain order. So you have what's called AFib, which is very common. You have an irregular heart rhythm. It's diagnosed by a healthcare professional. You get an increased risk of stroke. And basically, if you imagine it, your heart's kind of a pump, and the bottom part still pumps really effectively, but the top part's just kind of quivering and not actually pumping. You have what's called bradyarrhythmia, so your heart beats too slow. If you're symptomatic and so you're feeling lightheaded, you can't really feel your pulses that well, it's below 60 beats per minute, call 911. I will say if you're a marathon runner or something like that, I don't know if we have any here, but your resting heart rate might be 40, and that's probably normal for you. And then you have what's called tachyarrhythmia, so they're going too fast. And what happens then is that the pump that the heart is, it can't fill before it pumps. So if you've ever cavitated a pump, basically that's what happens when your heart starts going above 150 beats per minute as an adult. Either way, call 911 if you have any of those two later issues. But if you just notice, hey, my heart's kind of beating all the time, it's just irregular, then that's something to go see your doctor for. And that leads us into stroke. So you have two different kinds of strokes in this world. You have what's called an ischemic stroke. So you get a blood vessels in the brain get a blockage. So just like what I was showing you with the heart, you get the same thing that goes on in the brain. This is common with untreated AFib. So what we just talked about with the irregular heartbeat, because you tend to get clots that build in your heart. They kick out, go to your brain or go to wherever in your body. But if they end up in the brain, that's a bad thing. So you get what's called blood thinners or anticoagulants, and these make it so that that doesn't happen. These types of strokes are not generally accompanied by a headache, and they're typically, you'll see kind of the standard stroke symptoms, which we'll get into. Then you also have hemorrhagic strokes, which is when you have a bleed inside the brain. So this can have a variety of causes. There's a lot of medications that put people at a higher risk for them, especially anticoagulants. So if you're getting treated for your AFib, then you're at a higher risk for the brain bleed. These are generally accompanied with a headache, a severe headache, and they may have an array of non-specific symptoms. So stroke symptoms, you have facial droop, one-sided weakness or paralysis, so you can't move an arm or you can't move it well. Difficulty speaking, loss of sensation, vision changes, and balance issues. So you see this FAST model: fast, face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty, time to call 911. The faster you call 911, with any of these, it's very important, but especially with strokes, every minute matters. One important thing though, when you think that somebody's having a stroke, is to figure out what time they were lasting normal. So not what time you started noticing their symptoms, but what time they were last normal. So what to do if you suspect in a medical emergency? You want to call 911. Time is everything, especially when it comes to strokes or cardiac arrest or a cardiac event of any time. Keep aspirin around in your first aid kits and take it as directed by 911 agents. There's times to take it and times not to. They'll tell you what to take and how much to take pretty quickly in your phone call. You want to remain calm and follow medical advice. 911 agents are going to, if you have something serious going on, they're going to stay on the line with you and help you with all of the different stuff that you need to do, as well as if you have an AED, that's going to be coaching you too. So you're going to have plenty of resources for what to do. A heart attack or an MI may not present itself on an initial EKG that they do on you if the ambulance shows up out there, and that's fairly normal for an early signs or for an early intervention. And the only way to confirm these are lab testing at the hospital. So if you go into Champlain or something, a little bit of chest pain, they say, oh, your EKG is fine. It still might not be okay. It's just early. Remember to see your doctor regularly. Contact us if you want to join the wellness program. If you have cardiac problems, consider getting yourself a watch that does cardiac monitoring. There's a lot of options out there. And another good one, we go into all the stuff in a lot of detail, is CPR classes, and we have one on Tuesdays. So let me know if you want to attend. That's going to be a full one, so no prerequisites or anything.
What time is that, Tom?
We'll probably do 7:30, I'm guessing.
Yep.
Thanks, Tom. Very informative.
Yeah. So when in doubt, get checked out, right? I mean, don't ignore it.
Yep, ignoring it's usually where people get themselves into the most trouble. So
I like that fast increment.
What's that, Matt?
I like that, like fast, for strokes.
Yep.
Something easy to remember.
I try to only share a couple of acronyms though, because if we get
Yeah.
too many acronyms, then people are never going to remember any of them. So I try to just do the important ones.
That's one that can stick. I'm like, oh
Yeah, exactly.
Got a call.
All right. Can you see my screen, you guys?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So we had Dan this morning from Camp Tecumseh. He seems very excited to work there. It's kind of cool when you have a energetic person that works for one of those places. And they do have activities all year, which I learned this morning. I kind of, in my mind, thought it was only in the summers. So that's cool to know. Somewhere up near where you live, right, Matt? You live up near them?
Yeah, they're on
Sunset Hill or somewhere up there?
Sunset. Yeah.
Yep.
Top of Sunset.
Beautiful
Yeah.
property, I think.
Really nice. Yeah, they're always in the South Hero 4th of July parade. They march down South
Cool.
Street, big group. It's good to see.
So we do have some announcements. We do have the latest. A lot of you got this yesterday through email. The latest compensation and benefits overview, which is the supplement to our handbook that has all our up to date and latest highlights in there on our benefits. Look, I think they added. Let's see, they added some more language on that wellness program and some of the recognition programs that we started last year. It also, there's a new section that's pretty much a whole good sized page on the ESOP. So hopefully everyone that has an ECI email received it yesterday. I think it's going to go out to personal emails for anyone that doesn't have an ECI email, hopefully in the next day or so. And you can always get a hard copy, or you can get us to print you one out here at the office if you'd like. I think it's like 30 pages now. Another effort that we're working on right now, Aaron Markle's working on verifying all our personal emails. A lot of us like to receive our benefits information on our personal emails because it actually seems very appropriate to do that. I did send her an email yesterday. Just email Aaron from your personal email. Make sure to tell her who you are, just in case your email doesn't have a signature, but if you just email emarco@ecivt.com, when you get a chance, I think Tom Pidge is probably doing it right now. Send her an email, and so that she can verify in our files your personal email. Remember the W-2s did go out. They went out 2 weeks ago. If you haven't received them, then there's probably an issue. Contact Melanie up front, and we can reprint it, and get it to you. 401k meetings are a week from today on the 7th. So you can also sign up for those with Melanie. Anyone that hasn't done it, I think it's a great idea to do it. They'll help you get online if you haven't been online to see your account, and also look at some of the things that you have your 401k, at some of the funds that they're in, and they are financial advisors, so they can help you out. I've seen people spend a half hour, or you can push it a little longer if you need help. So sign up with. I think there are hopefully still some slots left. There's usually 2 or 3 slots left. Remember, I'm going to take this out next week, but remember the winter floating holiday is in effect. There's instructions here in light blue on how to exercise that. I think I've seen a lot of people using it already, so that's good. We've got the links to the primary wellness program, and we also have the employee assistance program link here. We have had utilization this winter, and it's a good program if you got anybody either that you work with or someone in your here at ECI or your home member that's having any kind of an issue. I encourage you to reach out to the EAP. They're very helpful. We want to welcome Robert Savage. He's a new employee for us. He started, I believe, on Monday. He's a foreman with the concrete group. So say hi to him when you see him.
He's pouring his first slab today.
He's pouring. It's cool.
He's excited.
Yeah. Project of the week. I got to see if McKinney, are you on? I know McKinney's doing some stuff. Here you are, Ben. We want to talk about the shop. I've been pushing Ben and the guys to. I wanted to talk about the shop because I don't want that's a project in itself. So if you want, I can drive Ben down through this.
Yeah, why don't you drive, and then I'll take over at the very end. A couple pictures got clipped off, and I'll just share.
Oh, good.
Those.
Okay, good. Thanks, man.
Yeah. We'll keep this short and sweet. Just got mostly pictures to burn through. We had the engine go in one of our 330s. So here's the new crate motor,
Nice.
ready to go in. Doing a lot more big work like this in-house, relying a lot less on our vendors and outside shops, which is pretty cool. Here's that in the machine.
Is my screen moving?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Here's
good.
the guys rehabbing the paving tool trailer. Not only taking up the floor, but that's what they're doing now. They later installed some new steel supports to better distribute the load in that roller. That was a cool job.
That looks like a pretty rugged trailer. I didn't think it was. Yeah.
It got more rugged after. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Big job on one of our older, medium small loaders, a center bearing replacement with the loader split right at the articulation point.
That's one of those jobs that you got to be careful. Yeah. Oh.
Just putting an engine in 567, one of our bigger mid 2000s Freightliners. Guys have been busy since November doing ESOP decals, and then the typical trailer services, as you can see here. It's a cutting edge going on one of our biggest buckets, the 380 cleaning bucket. Cleanup bucket.
Man, that's a good sized bucket.
A lot of pickup work. Here's a lower ball joint replacement. Trying to get the old one out with a torch and a presser puller.
Yeah.
Dodge. An annual services on big job, the big trucks. You can see this over the pit. Greasing in this picture and then doing an oil change in the next picture.
There's a cool thing.
Yeah, after renting much simpler version of a rail bound trailer, the guys wanted to build our own, except ours is cooler because we can tow it down the road and it's got functioning hydraulics to the gooseneck.
That's awesome.
It's almost done. It's coming along really nice. So you can see we
Yeah.
kept the pusher axle, the third pusher axle. We are really close weight wise as to whether we're going to have to run the fourth.
Yep.
But just like a train car, it just sits on this truck assembly. There's no actual mechanical connection there. It's just gravity, it's the same way every train is.
So
not
you got to
locomotives,
pick
but-
that off. You pick that off when you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll just pick the whole rear end of the low bed off, and then take the truck assembly and put it on the low bed and chain and bind it down, and it'll go down the road. Looks like we'll have to run placards just because of length, but the weight's very close to working out, so I think we'll be okay.
That's awesome.
And then obviously the point here is that you don't have to build miles of road to get to these remote job sites. You
Yeah.
can put cranes and excavators, as you guys saw last week, right on this thing and zip down the rail.
That's awesome. Alan Pigeon would be very impressed with that.
Yeah, the guys did a good job. I did not help them at all. We got one of our other crews going through earth moving equipment and all sorts of equipment, doing service, preventative maintenance, and cleaning, which is really helpful to get more horsepower on that. And the stuff's been coming out of the shop looking really nice. It's the same crew.
Yeah, it looks good. They've been doing a lot of touch up on those things, and after they clean it up, it looks really good.
They've been doing a good job.
All did.
The guys at the beginning of the Malden paver rehab.
They get that. Man, that's a lot of sanding.
Yeah. It's a big truck diagnosis. This is a cold start issue on a rotary dump. Evan's trying to trace out if there's an issue with the intake heater on this. There is. Spoiler alert. This is just a picture of some organization in the pickup shop ahead of during a Chevy small block replacement. That motor's been around since 2000, I think, and this, as far as I know, this is the first one we did, which pretty good motor, but finally had one go.
I like Logan's method. The only thing you got to watch out for is Chico and I when we move bolts around on him.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to reuse those exhaust header studs or not.
Wait a minute, who's this guy?
That's employee number 980, I think, doing a side-by-side transmission service.
Got a good grip on that. He's doing it.
We got another crew that's going back out on a job Monday, but took a couple days of downtime to rehab their crew truck. Get some help from Gene, which is cool. You can see new stakes for the stake body going on the back, getting painted, and sanding in the front. Got a couple extra welders in the shop at times during the winter, and see a bucket rehab here. Nice new bushings.
Very nice.
Mouth.
Teeth.
a whole new mouth going in here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I had the new Malden in there. Do you want to?
Yeah, let me share real quick.
Jump back after. Okay.
Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay, cool. We've got just tractor service here. Of our low bed tractors. You can do another pickup motor job. Here's a The first Ford 5.0 we've done, not nearly as long running of a motor as the Chevy 6-liter, but this is also the first one we've done here. Did it in house. That was cool. And I had one more picture. It was hard to see with the arc flash from the other one. I just wanted to get one more picture of the fabrication on the fifth wheel side here on the low railer.
That's awesome.
That's it. That's what I got.
Thanks, Ben.
Oh, sorry. Here's the Malden.
Here.
There's the Malden,
Yeah.
all nice and shiny.
Nice.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I thought I had that in there, but I don't know how it got dropped. This is an awesome looking job that they did on this one. Thanks, Ben. Okay, I'll share again. Let's see. Wanted to find some. I've got some other old archive photos, so I actually remember this job because I came up in 1983. I remember coming up north and seeing this project that ECI was doing. It's the Ben Burry building. This is our ECI of 1983. This is a news clipping, but that's down off of, I think it's on Church Street. But I don't know if anybody on this call ever remembers what this place was, but the Ben Burry was, they were out of New York. They were like an outfitter, like Cabela's or just, not on that scale. Anybody remember the Ben Burry company? This was
Vaguely, you can see that the Oasis Diner, a diner right in the background on the right-hand side, Ben.
Yeah,
That's
the
yep.
yep. There's
I
the
remember
diner.
it vaguely. You and I are one of the oldies.
Is that building still there, Jim?
I think so. I'm not
This
sure
is
what it
the-
is now, but yeah.
Yeah. This was the site work. Those are our trucks and our crews. One of Mike Colby's pickup down there. I got some other pictures of this job. I was showing some of the guys yesterday. They were driving piles. They had the old, I think they had the old American crane. We had a crane, and they were driving piles and putting piles and lagging in, and it was pretty cool to see the old guys doing some of the stuff that we do now. I showed, I think it was Ken Allard yesterday in McKinney, that the ECI Heavy Civil Group of 1983 was featured in one of the old books that I found upstairs. So that's pretty cool.
Ben, any idea who was running? I wonder, was Mark Nash or who was down there, you think?
83. It could be Meisha.
Oh, yeah.
Donnie Meisha was here yesterday.
Yep.
Anybody remembers Donnie?
Yep.
Came in to check on us. He's 80 years old. Just a quick one. He was the first one that had a trailer. One of the small Hallmark trailers that we have in the Bravos. The old man Alan didn't want us to have trailers because he said, you know what? I'm not going to get those trailers for you guys. You're going to want more tools, and then we're going to have 100,000 trailers out back, and we don't need that many trailers. So I pointed out the back, and Donnie went for $550 and bought himself a horse trailer, and then he put ECI decals on the side, and he rubbed it in Alan's face for like 4 months until Alan broke down and bought 3 Hallmark trailers for us. So I pointed out back, I said, hey, Donnie, look what you did. Alan was right. We've got like 100 trailers out there. He laughed. But Donnie got a new trailer after that, and he was told by Alan to bring his horse trailer home because Alan didn't like us hauling horse trailers around with all our tools in them. He didn't think that looked right, especially since Donnie didn't really clean the trailer out fully before he put our stuff in it.
What was his nickname, Ben?
Piglet. Yep. Yep. So he was here yesterday. He's doing well.
Good.
All right, Matt, I'll let you and
Yep.
Tom finish it up.
Yeah, have a good day. Have a great February. It's hard to believe that starts tomorrow. Have a good weekend. And if you're
Yeah.
watching a group setting, if you could kick me over your attendance, that would be fantastic. Thanks.
Hey, Tom, I hope you feel better.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.